Okay guys, we are back on the third SOP for our danger zone. This time we'll be learning about the breakout. DZSNR at the support. So once there's a breakout, what will happen next is to test the new resistance. So breakout at the support to test as a new resistance. So let's have a look at the SOP first. As I mentioned in the previous video, I did say that for breakout normally happens in the daily time frame. However, in this case, I'm going to show you an example in the weekly time frame. So let's have a look at the SOP. So on the weekly time frame, we can see that this is how the price move. This below is the support, above is the resistance. What we should do now is to mark our danger zone. Next, we mark this area as our second movement. Then we draw the horizontal line in this area, which is the edge of the support of the second movement. Then we change back to the candlestick chart and mark the zone from the edge of the support all the way down to the shadow. Let's look at the daily time frame. In the daily time frame, everything remains the same. This will be our danger zone SNR weekly. So this will be our second movement. So this will be our DZ SNR on the weekly second movement. In the daily will become the support. Next, when price coming down to this zone, as price didn't zone, price instead made a clean breakout with a candlestick called the Marubozu at the daily time frame. Okay, so we mark our danger zone SNR at the second movement, which is called the support at the weekly time frame. So in the daily time frame, this is how we can see it, that the daily candlestick break one Marubozu below the area. So once it broke this support, it will come back to test as a new resistance. Therefore, the price will come back into this zone. Now, what should we do is to wait for the confirmation of rejection at this new resistance area. Okay, so when price comes back to this area, price will reject with a bearish engulfing or candle reversal signal. In this case, since we look at the weekly time frame as our danger SNR, therefore our confirmation of rejection should be at the daily time frame or the H4 time frame. The smallest time frame is H4, not H1 and below. Okay, why? Because this is the danger zone SNR weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, confirmation of rejection is daily or H4 time frame. Once there is a confirmation of rejection, then we should look for setup in this area. So in this area, the setup would be at the time frame of H1 and below. So if this rejection of confirmation is at the daily time frame, therefore we can look the setup at the H4 time frame and below. So let's look at the example at the chart. As always, first we go to the big time frame. Normally it's the monthly, weekly, or the daily time frame. In this case, I'm going to show you the Euro GBP on the weekly time frame. Now this is not the second movement. Instead, this is the support of the weekly time frame. So this is the second movement here normally, but here is the support. I'm going to show you the support instead of the second movement support. So next, we go to the line chart. We change to the line chart. And then what should we do? We mark the horizontal line at the edge of the V and mark the second movement of the weekly time frame. In this case, this is the danger zone SNR weekly at the support. Therefore, the second movement has to be on the right side, which is this one. Okay. Lastly, we move to the candlestick chart. Mark the zone from the edge of this support all the way to the shadow. Can you see, guys? Where did I mark? let me go back here. This is the capital V, and I mark only the zone of the capital V, which is this area, not this week. Okay, we want to take the latest price one. Once we done our danger zone SNR marking, next what should we do? As we can see here, the weekly candlestick has closed below the danger zone SNR and broke the support. Okay, it broke the support with a bearish engulfing, and then the weekly candlestick closed below this danger zone SNR weekly. We then now move it to the daily time frame to find for confirmation of rejection or the H4 time frame. In this case, let's look at the daily time frame. So do you see any pattern here, guys? As we can see, the daily time frame has made a 3 black crow outside of the zone, which is this one, indicating that it has rejected this zone and going on a downtrend. Now, since there is a confirmation of rejection at the daily time frame, therefore we should look the setup at the H4 time frame and below. Now, in this chart here, are you able to identify the setup? Let's try to see whether you find it. You got it? Okay. Now let's look. At the H4 time frame, we have the potential QMR, which is this area. We mark the potential QMR with the horizontal line at the left shoulder. This is the high. As you can see, this is the high, low, higher high, lower low. You see the structure of it? And then we mark the zone from the body to the wick as a monitoring purposes. So that easy to monitor when the price coming back to this zone. At the same time, in the H1 time frame, we can see that there's a potential QMC in this area here. So we mark this horizontal line at the left shoulder of the QMC. You see there are two different price difference by 7 pips. If I were you, I will put both PO, because we will never let the price gonna touch here and then go down, or the price gonna touch here and go down. So I'm gonna put both PO. Okay, guys. So now as we look back at this QMC, we mark the left shoulder again, the horizontal line, and then mark the zone all the way here. At the same time, we draw the trend line. Now remember, guys, what is the SOP for QMC? The head of the QM, which is this case is the higher high, has to be on the second drive. The first drive, second drive, and we entry at the third drive. Now when we entry the third drive, the price cannot linger more than the confluence of this trend line and the entry point. So possible it could be around this area would be nice. The trend line, there is no specification. As long it touch here, and it goes down like this. We just use, as teachers Nora said, T-buy. Okay. Next, what should we do? We should look for confirmation at the higher time frame. So we come back to the daily time frame. We can see that both setup, the QMR H4 and the QMC H1 setup, is at the body of the 3 black crows, which is the reversal signal. So if the setup is here, this area here, then it will consider as high risk. Okay, so we do not want those setup to be at the wick. This area is considered high risk. Okay, remember, guys, both setup have to be at the candlestick body. So it met the SOP. Next, what should we do? We wait for the price to come and react to our orders. As we can see, Price has comes back to take both of our orders. One is the QMRH4 and another one. This is a very good sharp entry for our QMC H1. So if you are using a normal standard account, you might not probably get the PO because this is too sharp. The entry is too sharp. Therefore, the best is to use an ECN account or a row account. So price reacted to our PO and we are in happy profit for both setup. Okay. So now I have shown you the examples one by one, step by step. How do we look into this breakout in the weekly time frame? Now you have to do your part is to learn. So whether you understand or not this concept, the SOP and the drawing, please, you can use it starting from the daily time frame, not from the H4 or below. Start from the daily time frame and find the breakout. The breakout of the daily time frame is the H4 time frame. So you can use that daily or weekly. Okay, don't go to monthly. You can't find yearly time frame. So you can use the weekly or the daily time frame. Now more often the breakout happens during the daily time frame. Okay, and most of the time it happens during the breakout of the second movement, because second movement has a support and resistance as well. Alright, remember guys, danger zone, the marking of it is just for monitoring purposes, whether there's a breakout or whether there's a rejection. So once you completed your assignment, you did 3, save it in a folder and you may submit at the end of the course. See you at the last SOP for danger zone.